are the madrigals and what makes them special? Generally speaking, describe why it was important to help differentiate these characters and how the animation team helped achieve that.
Well, who are the Madrigals? The Madrigals are an extraordinary family. It all starts kind of with the matriarch Abuela, and through tragedy, uh, she and her family were given this gift. They were given this miracle, and so now each of the family members, when they turn 5 years old, they get given a literal magical gift. And so each of these family members have this special power that is everybody except for Mirabelle, who mysteriously did not receive a special gift. But in working on the animation on these characters, it was really important that their magical gifts became sort of a foundational trait of how they moved and what their animation was. So, for example, Louisa has super strength. And so we wanted to be sure that in her movement, she has very strong lines of action in all of her poses, that she feels very grounded and so you can really feel that strong sturdiness, that she's not going to be tipped over or knocked over. And we studied a lot of athletes, especially there were some Olympians and female shot putters that have really amazing physiques, and just kind of watching how somebody with that kind of strength moves about and does normal tasks. And so that was really a big inspiration for every movement that Luisa did. Similarly with like Isabella, who is the golden child, and she is considered perfect in every way, we wanted her to be effortlessly graceful in every movement. So you will see very flowing lines of action in her poses. And when she walks, it's almost like she kind of floats across the screen. And in talking to our cultural consultants, we discovered that beauty pageants are actually a part of Colombian culture. And so there are some very practiced walks and waves that those ladies do. And so we thought, well, that would be a really good pairing for Isabella, because if there was anybody that was going to walk perfectly and wave perfectly, it would be her. So everything with her is very flowy and graceful.
Maribel is a complex character who struggles to fit in. Describe how animators helped to bring her to life in a way that showcased her awkward, quirky personality. And if you can also touch on how the animation style for Mirabel compare with that of her sisters, Isabella and Luisa, and then how did the voice of Stephanie Beatrice inform the character?
So Mirabelle and her animation style was one of the trickiest things to discover throughout this whole process of this film. And early on, we had had a conversation with the directors about who is Mirabelle. And they described a girl who was unlike any other Disney character that we had done before. But also she is a part of her family, but she is not like any other member in her family. So they were emphasizing that you couldn't take any animation from another Disney character or from Isabella or from Luisa, from her sisters, and have it work on Mirabelle. So Mirabelle was unique, and she was very capable and yet imperfect. And so we, early on in the process, we started doing animation tests, as we always do, to help discover what are these characters like? How are they going to move? And with Mirabelle, we were really honestly struggling. We did a lot of animation tests, and we were showing the directors, and they're like, it's not quite right. They were great at sort of guiding us into this brand new territory that we hadn't been before. And some of the pitfalls is in making Mirabelle move imperfectly, she could come off as being just klutzy or just stumbling over everything all the time. And that wasn't who she was. And with her being capable, you didn't want her to come off as being almost like a superhero. That was a little bit more of Luisa's territory. So you had to find that right balance. And what it ended up being was with Mirabelle, there's a little bit of a sense of improvisation into everything that she is doing. So she is kind of making it up as she goes. And the other thing that we discovered was that she is different, and her demeanor and her physical performance is different depending on who she is with and depending on the relationship she has with those people. So when you see her in the town, she is full on putting on a show, and she is trying to make everybody believe that she fits in with her family, and she feels like she fits in with her family, and uh, that she feels just as awesome as the rest of them. And when she is with her sisters, you will see a different dynamic between her and Luisa and her and Isabella. Even with her cousin Antonio, who is almost like her best friend, because they still share the same room because Mirabelle never got a gift, so she was never promoted out of that nursery. So you see her, confiding in Antonio, or asking Luisa for support and help, and then you see this kind of sister rivalry with her perfect sister Isabella. There's a little bit of resentment there. And then with her relationship with Abuela, you see Mirabelle's posture change. She gets much quieter and insecure because, I think Abuela is the ultimate judge in her mind. And then when Mirabelle is by herself, you really see kind of the vulnerability and the struggle that she has with kind of putting on this happy face every day and feeling like she's less than in this extraordinary family. But you also see her determination and perseverance to figure out why she wasn't bestowed a similar gift as the rest of her family.